Back again, and we do now have the pick guard all screwed in and buttoned down. One thing, when you're putting a more powerful circuitry system in, pickups and all that, you're going to have more thicker wires, bigger wires, other stuff on the pots and all that. So on an older, like a 62 RI body, you're going to have a little bit of limited space. Remember, they didn't make them so that's why they have that channel in there, you know, for the wiring, you know. And they had simple wiring back then. It was just cloth wiring going to each pickup and each pot, and that was it. This here, you got a 5-way switch, you know, and it's going to this, that, and everything else, then to the TBX, blah, 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 blah. I love that pot. Okay, the other thing, before I put on the neck, I do want to address the bridge. The solid bridge, solid chrome bridge, Shaler, 67 parts. There's 7 parts just in the bar socket alone. These are the most fantastic bridges there are in the world. This is a 30-year-old bridge, and you wouldn't know it if you were to take a look, close look. And remember, I'm selling this guitar on reverb.com. Look at that bridge. That looks like you just bought it. And here it's 30 years. Of course, I refurbish these bridges. This is my business at stratconnection.com. And I do have all the parts, and I sell the parts. They are expensive because they're rare, and they're vintage, and they haven't been made since 1987, and there's a limited amount. I usually sell to collectors and those who, you know, really love these guitars. I also refurbish the bridges. I only charge $50 to take your bridge, clean it up, reset it up, and get the intonation right and all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff to it. Look at my workshops. They'll tell you how to do the rollers. You got to make sure all these rollers are rolling. Don't let them ever stop, or you got more problems. Okay, so before I go on with the neck, I want to show you how to get that bridge in so that it's not only sitting pretty, but it's sitting functional. Now, a few things I want to show you. Number one is these springs. I use 3 springs. 3 springs are sufficient. I use the straight pin springs. Whoops. These are the original before CBS springs. Let me show you a little close up there. All they are is just a straight log strings. Then CBS came out with these. These are a pain. They hook in there, but I'll tell you what, they're a pain in the neck. I've done more damage with those things than good. And I'll tell you what, these work just fine. These are the original, and this is what's going back in there. Now, when I put a bridge in, it's like I told you before, always make sure that your fine tuners are down and that your bridge is sitting up. Now, what I do is, I do it with the fine tuners because I'm experienced. I've been doing this for years. When I came on the scene, they were selling these guitars and parting them out for nothing, for cheap. It was a shame. I took 40 grand and bought everything out, everything. Now the prices are raised because people are realizing and stopped and said, whoa, maybe Papa Tom has a point here. These are great guitars. And they are pre-CBS. Okay, that's an argument about that, and I'm not going to get into it. I've said my piece, and now I leave it up to you. Moody Blues. Okay, so what I do is I hold the bridge here at the rollers, not at the, I never put my hands on or around the fine tuners. Even if they are down, I put my fingers right at the rollers and I hold it in, I put it up, and then I get one in the middle. That's basically, once you do that, you're home free. And once you hook that on, now you're set. Okay? Now she's on there. Then what I do is I take the other 2 and I go one on the end and into the middle. Okay? And then one on to the other end and into the middle. Okay, now I have a full range. That bridge should just be about this taunt. Let me push that down a little bit more. Excuse me, just a little bit. Up. All right, just so it's this taunt. Remember, when you put those strings on here, that's going to really pull that bridge. So basically, see how fast and easy I did that? Now you still don't want to take your fine tuners up yet, because you're not done yet, all right? But I want you to see the rollers. Now I need to clean up a little bit. Never a cameraman around when you need one, huh? The rollers here, what I want to show you, let's see if I can get close enough. The rollers here need to be so that they roll. That's what rollers are, they roll. That's it. Some people are really getting, since I put my workshop out, really getting paranoid because of the black powder that they put on there, the graphite, to protect the brass, because these rollers are brass, okay? So they coat them with a black powder so that they don't get, you know, green or, you know, rust or, you know, tarnished before you get them. Otherwise, you know, you complain that you got some used. So they put that on there. When that wears out, that doesn't mean the rollers are broke and you need new rollers. It just means that the powder has gone off them. These are all, the powder's all off of these. And these are all, I measured all of these. The circumference of them are fine. They're all basically, they're all, not basically, they're all perfectly round. And that's what you want, because when you yank on this here whammy, you want that string to roll on the roller. And that's what that's all about. Now I'm going to put the neck on, and there's a few things that you want to know about that. When you put the neck on, you want to make sure that your Fender card is in there, because that helps. You're not supposed to rely on the micro tilt slowly to get your azimuth. Putting a piece of cardboard in there that's about a matchbook thick is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Fender did it, and I agree. You know, that's a good way to do things. The neck, like I told you, I chose before was a Fender A-Series crafted in Japan neck, not the original neck. However, I have the original neck, and should somebody not want to pay the enormous price I'm going to charge for this guitar and want it back to its original condition, hey, I'll be happy to put it back to its original condition and still charge an enormous price. Only kidding. No, I'm not. Because this has been refurbished. Okay, this guitar did not come to me like this. But I'll tell you what, it was my pleasure to take such an instrument and put it in such beautiful, beautiful, beautiful state that somebody could actually enjoy it. But I am going to put this neck. This is the white dot. It is a Fender 62 reissue. You can see by the spaghetti logo, and you can see by the style, the headstock is small. All pre-65 headstocks were small. Then they came out with the 67s, which they say 66, 67 circa, right, were the little bigger ones, which I like those. Those are good. They were still had the truss bars at the heel. This one has a date, and it says August 1987. So that's when this neck was made. Even though it says crafted in Japan. I didn't think the crafted in Japans came out until 89 or 90. Proved me wrong there. Either that or it's misstated, but I don't think so. It is an A series. Here's the serial number down here. Not on the headstock. That's something I really like, because some people have something against the Japanese. I don't know what it is, but they are the best when it comes to making cars, watches, cameras, you name it. They put things together the best. When I heard that the Japanese were going to be putting Fender guitars together, I did a dance. I'm telling you, because they are very crafted people, very crafted, very, 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 very good people. And this here truss rod here, and this is a 62, and let me see if we can get you to read it. Okay. So you'll see it says, I got it upside down, okay. So you'll see it says ST62. Now, I want you to pay close attention to this. Let me see if I can walk up without, now it's going to blur out. Okay, it's going to say DEX2. EX2. That does not mean export. That means extrada. Extrada. And there's a site that explains it better than I can explain it. But the Extrada series was just like your Greco Mint collection series. They were a series of hand-picked parts that were better than other parts. Just like you have quality control. So, in other words, when they did it, they looked at this neck and they said, they measured it, all the measurements, everything came out beautiful. Came out of the machine, it was shellacked, they said, you know what? This thing is an Extrada. This is really, really great. The Japan Kluson type machines, these are the only ones I trust in, other than Kluson or Fender made by Kluson. Kluson Fender made. Did I say that right? Anyway, these are anything else, forget. They don't fall apart, and even if they do, you can fix them. So when I was a kid, I used to pull these apart and fix them, because sometimes the gear used to slip off, the worm gear used to slip off the hooks, and I'd have to take it and tighten it, and there's the tabs in there, and you put them back. You remember doing that? Cleaning all the gunk out of it and all that stuff and getting them back working new. We didn't have money to go buying new tuners. But at any rate, what you want to do is, I'm going to be putting this nice, I am going to cheat a little bit. The one that was on here was scratched a bit and I didn't like it. So I'm going to put this nice one on. Can't say it. Okay, I'm going to put this nice back plate on. Of course, with the micro-tiller hole, it still has some scratches, some belt scratches. It's not a brand new one. I wouldn't do that. This is still an E series. It's just not from this particular E series. You know, this isn't the only. Papa Tom has all mint guitars. I don't know if you see in my shop my guitars, but what I did when I bought up the guitars is I picked the best from the rest. In other words, if I seen a guitar that had a nice body, but the neck wasn't that great, I'd buy it. I'd buy it. I'd buy it for the body. And it had a nice bridge or nut or whatever, you know, I'd buy it for the parts that I could use. I'd make sure all the numbers were exact. Like this here is a 562, right, Fender Strat, and this is going to fit right in there nicely. Now, just like a glove. And you want to know something? This isn't even the neck for this. The neck that goes for this hangs out. There's a 22 fret. There's a 21 fret. Okay, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay? The one that comes with this, you see the little, it's in there around. There you go. I had to sit down a little bit more. Okay, fits perfect. Let me get you in here. Here we go. Slowly I turn. Step by step, inch by inch. Let me get it on my lap. Okay, so you can see in here. Perfect. Fits perfect. Because it's a 62. And this is a 62 neck. So it's going to fit perfect. Okay? The pickguard, however, probably isn't. Oh, it's an 11 hole. It's more of a 68. But the 10 hole was the 62. Remember, it had 10 screws going around, right? Rather than the. Okay, so what you do is holding this firmly, like this. Okay? Let me get you a little close up here. I got big hands, so there's an advantage to that. But what I do is when I take my screws, I put this up against there and hold it with one finger, take one screw, and I find the hole for one, stick it in. Hand screwdriver. Never use a Okay, it will find its own hole. Let it sit. All right, do not tighten the screw. Just let it sit. So you're able to hold this up, put the one down here in. Again, hand screwdriver. Okay, do not use a drill. You will over tighten these. I can't tell you how many I repair. I even have a new workshop that shows you how to repair the big holes without using toothpicks. And then you want to do that again. Now this neck happens to be in good shape because it's been taken care of. But as you see in the date, it's August 1987 and it's an A series, and that's what this guitar has become.